Imagine a world without your phone.
No, not just without the screen, without the very signal that powers it.
No Bluetooth? No Wi-Fi?
No remote for your TV? No electric motor in your Tesla, ironically.
For nearly a century, we were taught that the modern world was built by the great men of industry, Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, Henry Ford. But in the cracks of history, a name was erased, only to resurface in the last decade as the ultimate trending icon of the misunderstood genius.
This is the story of Nikola Tesla. A man who arrived in New York with 4 cents in his pocket, and a letter of recommendation to the most famous man on earth. A man who predicted your iPhone in 1926.
A man who died penniless in a hotel room, talking to pigeons, while the world literally hummed with his inventions.
1884. New York City. Nikola Tesla is 28 years old. He has just survived a mutiny on his ship. He lost his luggage. He lost his money.
He stands on the docks of the new world with nothing but a book of poetry, a few coins, and a letter.
The letter is addressed to Thomas Edison. It reads, "My dear Edison, I know 2 great men and you are one of them, the other is this young man." The meeting was a clash of titans that neither recognized yet. Edison was the Wizard of Menlo Park, the king of direct current.
But DC had a problem.
It was weak.
It couldn't travel more than a mile without losing power.
If you lived 2 miles from the power plant, your lights wouldn't even flicker.
To light a whole city, you'd need a power plant on every street corner. Tesla saw the solution: alternating current, or AC.
It could travel hundreds of miles. It was elegant. It was powerful. It was dangerous, according to Edison.
Tesla tells Edison he can redesign Edison's inefficient DC motors. Edison, skeptical but greedy, looks the young immigrant in the eye and says, "There's $50,000 in it for you, if you can do it." For a year, Tesla works 18 hours a day.
He barely sleeps.
He redesigns 24 types of standard Edison machines.
He succeeds. He goes to Edison and asks for his payment. Edison didn't pay him a cent. He offered him a $10 a week raise instead. Tesla did something most people in 1885 wouldn't dare. He picked up his hat, walked out of the lab, and quit.
This is the part of the story that trends every few years on social media because it's the ultimate hustle culture nightmare. The greatest mind of the 19th century spent a year digging ditches for $2 a day just to survive.
But genius can't be buried.
In 1887, Tesla found backers.
He built his own lab.
He patented the AC induction motor, the very thing that makes your washing machine, your fan, and your blender work today. George Westinghouse. He saw Tesla's AC system and realized it was the future. He bought Tesla's patents for a fortune.
Suddenly, the war of the currents was on.
If you think modern corporate smear campaigns are bad, you haven't seen Edison in 1890. Desperate to protect his DC empire, Edison began a campaign of terror. He paid schoolboys to bring him stray cats and dogs, and he electrocuted them in public using Westinghouse's AC power to prove how dangerous it was. He even lobbied for the first electric chair to use AC, hoping people would call it being Westinghoused.
He wanted every household to fear the wires in their wall. But Tesla had an answer.
At the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, Westinghouse underbid Edison to light the event.
When the switch was flipped, the City of Light was born. The world saw that AC wasn't a killer, it was a miracle.
Shortly after, Tesla harnessed Niagara Falls. He built the first large-scale hydroelectric plant.
He didn't just light a room, he lit the planet. This is the moment that makes Tesla trending in our generation.
In 1926, Tesla sat down for an interview with Collier's magazine. Remember, this is a time when wireless meant a bulky radio that could barely pick up a signal from the next town over.
Tesla said, "When wireless is perfectly applied, the whole Earth will be converted into a huge brain. We shall be able to communicate with one another instantly, irrespective of distance. Not only this, but through television and telephony, we shall see and hear one another as perfectly as though we were face to face." and the instruments through which we shall be able to do this will be amazingly simple. A man will be able to carry one in his vest pocket.
He predicted the smartphone.
He predicted the internet. He predicted the global brain. He wasn't just an inventor, he was a futurist who saw the 21st century before we even had a word for it. Then came Wardenclyffe, Tesla's ultimate dream.
He didn't just want to send voices through the air, he wanted to send power. Imagine a world where electricity is pulled from the air like a Wi-Fi signal.
No wires. No monthly bills.
Free energy for the entire human race. He convinced financier J.P. Morgan to back him.
But when Morgan realized he couldn't put a meter on it, meaning he couldn't charge people for it, he pulled the plug. Tesla was crushed. The tower was eventually torn down for scrap.
His dream of a world wireless system died in the mud of Long Island.
As the years went by, Tesla began to slip. He was a man of extreme eccentricities. He was terrified of germs. He hated round objects, especially pearls. He was obsessed with the number 3. He would walk around a block 3 times before entering a building.
He required 18 napkins to clean his silverware before a meal. In his final years, he lived in the Hotel New Yorker.
He had no money left.
To help his friend George Westinghouse avoid bankruptcy during the War of Currents, Tesla had torn up his royalty contract, a piece of paper that would have made him the wealthiest man in history.
He chose the future of the world over his own bank account. He became lonely. His only friends were the pigeons of Bryant Park.
He famously said he loved one particular white pigeon as a man loves a woman. It sounds like the plot of a tragic movie, but it was the reality of a mind that had gone too far into the light and couldn't find its way back to the shadows of human society. Nikola Tesla died in room 3327 on January 7, 1943. The FBI immediately seized his papers. For decades, he was a footnote.
But look around you. The Tesla coil is the basis for your radio and television.
The remote control? Tesla invented it in 1898 with a toy boat.
He called it teleautomaton, the father of robotics.
Neon and fluorescent lighting? Tesla? Radar? Tesla proposed it in 1917. The AC motor?
It's the heartbeat of our industrial world. We call our most famous electric car company Tesla not because he founded it, but because without his motor, the car wouldn't move. We celebrate him today because he represents the unfiltered creator. He wasn't a businessman. He wasn't a shark. He was a poet of science. History is often written by those who make the most money.
But legacy? Legacy is written by those who make the most change. Tesla once said, "The present is theirs, the future, for which I really worked, is mine." As you look at your phone, as you flip a light switch, as you use the GPS to find your way home, know that you are living in Tesla's future. He was the man who lit the world, even when his own life went dark. And that is why, in every generation that values innovation over greed, Nikola Tesla will always be trending.